Thank you again for understanding that brief interruption.
It's
But
okay.
please,
It happens.
but please, if you can explain just further go into detail about your experience and what you're feeling.
Yes. So, like what I said, I did not break any rules. I feel like I'm doing good, abiding by the rules. So, I just came here to mediation to clarify everything, and then I actually brought the email that like she sent to me because I think it was really hurtful. I feel like I was hurt questioning all the things that I'm doing, because I am part of the association. I'm a big part of the association. And I lead the association, and I believe that you know, I want to be able to communicate with her better, and I want to be able to explain myself better.
What would you say? How did you feel about when she mentioned that you're taking advantage of your role? How did that make you feel?
I will never ever take advantage of people. That's not in my philosophy as a person.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, I believe that I followed every rules. So, for example, just by letting our one of our far relatives, the Croatian guy, living in our apartment, I believe that there's no laws or anything like that that says you can't live, you can't let anyone come into your, I'm sorry, far relatives that come into your household and not be able to use the pool. And there's no rules that existed. I made sure that I looked at everything I looked at all the rules
So
of the
you
homeowner.
researched all the
Yes,
rules.
homeowners association, because I am a part of it.
Okay.
And I believe that I will never I mean I might I might, how do you say this? Ignore all of that. But I will never break it because we created those as homeowners association. So
It sounds like both of you guys are very much into abiding by the rules, being
yes,
respectful.
correct.
Sounds like you guys
Correct.
both share that
Yes.
in common. How would you feel about going over those rules together?
Yeah, we can go over those
Do you
those
have a
rules
copy
together.
of the rules or anything like that with you?
Not with me. However, I just wanted you to I just wanted to show you the email that she sent me and all of that stuff because it is really hurtful for me, and I believe that she owes me an apology.
So, like my co-meter Damiana mentioned earlier, what kind of words did she use to upset you?
It's just she questioned. Are you some special member, or do you have some special membership? Of course, I don't have, because we're all equal in the homeowners association, and I believe that I'm not higher or lower than anyone.
So, how do you feel about expressing those words, what you just said, to her? How would you
Yes.
feel about?
I can totally explain that to her, but let me explain to you about the email, because I'm sorry, you guys are not listening. But yes, she asked me a question. She's like, "Are you a special member?" Of course, I'm not. Or do you have rights or privileges? Those things, I don't know, elevates me because it describes me. However, it's kind of disrespecting me because it's like a reverse psychology type of thing. She's saying all these positive words where it means the totally opposite type of thing.
So, in that letter, was there any mention of why she felt like you had a special position?
Yes, because of the Croatian, the far relative that I invited in the house, and my daughter. Which is, I believe that they follow by the rules. We followed by the rules because first, let me explain to you about the Croatian far relatives that we have. So he came here about 2 weeks ago, and he's staying with us for 2 years because he goes to the community college. So, he swims. He's 18 years old, and the pool says that guest, which is he's not guest, so he does not have to follow by the rules. However, if they want to treat him as guests, then I believe that his age was sufficient enough to like swim in the pool. Do you get what I'm saying?
So you're saying that so the rule is that is it that all guests must be accompanied, or is it
Must
that
be accompanied if they are 12 years old or 7th grade.
okay?
But the Croatian guy that our relative, our
Mhm.
family, or what should I say? Yeah, should I say family, is 18 years old and he goes to community college. So by that, I did not break any rules.
So would you say that in your eyes he's a part of the household?
Yes, he is
Okay.
a part, and
That's what you
he
said,
should
okay.
and he should have an access on the pool.
So from what we discussed earlier, it looks
Mhm.
like Mrs. Milankovic, she's seeing your Croatian student as a guest while you see otherwise. So it looks like there's just a lot of miscommunication going
Yes.
on here.
And I'll be happy to explain that to her.
It also sounds like there's been a level of trust that's been broken between you guys, and
Yes.
also respect.
Yeah.
Okay. So, what does respect look like for you? How would Mrs. Milankovic portray that for you?
Respect to me is just approaching me in the right way.
Okay.
Not questioning my authority or anything like that. Not questioning me for anything that like I'm not even doing. I just don't trust people that are like that. How could you question me where we created those rules that we abide?
So, if she has a question about these rules or about your validity in
Yes.
how you're approaching them, how would it look for you? Like in best case scenarios, how would it look for you how should she approach you about this?
If she approached me in a nicer way,
What would that look like?
if she asked me questions about our relatives that is living with us, or if she
So
asked,
you don't want to feel attacked.
yes,
Oh.
I feel that I was attacked, and I feel like that it just makes me so mad
Okay.
when she does that. Like, how could you question me?
Because you value
Yes.
you want to be respected.
Yes, and also there's like people living in the village as well. It's not just us. So anything that happens, like it goes around, and I want to keep this between us, and we want to be cordial within each other, because we are part of the association, and I believe that our relationship is key to that association. So
And you would like this preferred method of communication to be face to face, correct?
face to face, email me,
Anything? Okay.
anything. And let me talk about my daughter,
Okay.
because she said that I'm also taking advantage of the association.
Mm-hmm.
Well, she is employed by the association.
Okay.
She teaches swim classes on in the pool and all that stuff.
So the very pool that is in question about your exchange student and relative is the same pool that your daughter teaches classes in.
Yes,
Okay.
correct.
So,
correct.
are there any rules regarding employee use of the pool or anything like that? Or is it just strictly limited to residents?
I believe that she should have a right, because she teaches all the people that lives in the complex.
I know, I'm just asking, is it stated in the rules or anything like that?
We can look through
Okay.
it. I have any specifics on that yet.
Okay.
However, that she teaches all the kids and all the people that wants to learn how to swim. So I believe that she should have, and she is hired by the association. How can you not? How do I say this? How can you not let her go to the pool when she is teaching all those kids?
Yeah, I understand what you're saying. That
Mm-hmm.
because she's an employee.
Yes.
Sure, devotes her time.
We employed her as an association to teach swimming classes.
Okay,
Do you get what I'm saying?
I'm understanding where
Yes.
you're going with this.
Yes. So, I believe that we followed the rule. I believe that I followed the rule. My daughter have a right to go to the pool, and she owes me an apology.
Okay.
Because I think that's just.
So those would be the things that you want to get out of mediation. Is for Mrs. Milkinovich to understand.
Yes, I want her to understand that. Like, I am here for mediation fully, you know?
So, both of you guys, it was clear that you both want to communicate. What we suggested to Mr. Milankovic before is, like, would you be comfortable, like, once you get your side out to her, like, just to, in order for her to, like, understand and listen more effectively, like, we suggested using, like, I statements. And like instead of using the word you, because then the other party would feel attacked. I feel like if we just use tactics like that, it would help you guys communicate more effectively and reach an understanding.
I'll try my best.
Yeah. So, is there anything else that we didn't touch on that you'd like to bring to the table?
Yeah, I believe it's just the communication.
Okay.
Yeah.
Definitely need to work on communication.
We're here to help you guys with that.
If she works on her communication and her hatred against Croatian people, I feel like based on how she talked earlier.
So, what's your thought about what are your thoughts on someone who is having that issue of what you're saying, that she has hatred towards Croatian people?
What are my thoughts? Like, I can tell by her words. Like, she has such a strong opinion about our relative, and he is a part of our family.
Okay.
He is now part of our family, and that will never change.
Okay.
So.
Great. All right. Well, thank you for sharing. And going forward, just try and keep in mind what it is that you would like to get out from mediation, and how you can better communicate with Mrs. Milankovic about what you're feeling and how to move forward.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay.
So what we're gonna do now is bring Mrs. Milankovic back in, and then hopefully we can have you two reach an understanding with some of our advice that we gave you. Mrs. Milankovic.
Thank you so much for waiting, and again, we both really appreciate everything that you shared with us in caucus. Again, caucus is completely confidential. We will not be sharing, what was said, but we hope that we gave you some insight on how to move forward in mediation, and kind of keep in mind what you would like to get from mediation, and what you would like to relate to the person, your opposite person, and trying to come up with a better, positive atmosphere for both of you guys to live together. So I'm going to start it again. We're going to basically go into it, and I'm going to start with you, and if you can just start us off with some of the thoughts and emotions that you're feeling, and right now, at this point of mediation.
Mm-hmm. Well, I think that the caucus was good, so I was able to tell you guys some stuff privately, and to convey what my feelings were. But I think that's something that what my feelings are now is just for him to be able to understand the purpose of mediation today, and to understand the rules, and just that he doesn't have special privileges because that he has he's buddy or friends with people who work in the homeowners association, because that's a big area of concern for me, because I just feel like I'm being taken advantage of, when I feel like you're not taking advantage when you're
Can you explain those concerns specifically to us?
Well, like I said, because he he's friends with the people who work for the homeowners association and his daughter and things of that nature, and because they teach classes there, I feel like they don't get any special privileges or any employee packages, and that they need to abide by the rules that are set in place, and that I don't want to have that intruder here on the property.
The intruder?
The Croatian student.
How could you say such thing? That's one of our relatives.
Well, I just feel like he's not really like a relative. Like he's just there like temporarily, and so since he's not like a relative, like he needs to have a pass there. Like he's not part. Like if
He
you
is our
It's-
okay,
family.
but
Can
then
you-
you need to buy. Then you need to buy him a membership.
And can you explain the heritage? You're saying he is a family member, so and he is living in your home.
Yes.
Could you tell us like how he's related to you? Like, which
He's
side
part
the
of
family?
my sister-in-law's son. So
Okay,
yes, from another husband. So
I see. Okay.
yes,
Okay, so
and we treat him as family. We accept him as family. So
So right now he's just an international student at the community college,
yes,
right?
yes.
okay.
So he got accepted there. So we were like, oh, we're here, so might as well like live with us, and we'll fully accept you as family.
Mhm.
And I believe that I did not. I abide to all the laws that was said, and
But you don't abide by the laws. If you
do you
need
have
to
the
buy him.
laws?
Which
with you?
laws?
I don't, but you need
See,
the
he
law.
doesn't
There's the
have
guest,
a
the
law.
guest policy. I can go get them, but I mean, like the guest policy. The guest policy strictly states that if you're at the pool and you're not like a resident there and you don't have a membership pass, you need to be
It
accompanied
doesn't say
with.
that.
Yes,
it
it
says
does.
17 years old. The law said
No,
that
okay,
he
yes.
has
If
to
you're
be
17 years
accompanied.
or older, so if you're 17 years or older, minutes.
No.
Oh, so no. So okay, well, what I'm trying to say is like, yes, he's over the age of 18, and I get that he's an adult, right? That's what you're
Yes.
trying to say to me.
Yeah,
but I just feel like let me finish. But I just feel like he needs what the law also states is the part that you don't understand is that since he does not have a visit, he does not have like a pass. So even though he is over the age of 12 or he's not in the 7th grade, he's he's a college student, but also he's not like a resident there. So if you want him to be there, then you need to buy
he
him a
is
pass.
a part of
But
our
he
family.
needs a pass. Like just like you have your pass for the pool and to use the common areas, he needs a pass. So you need to buy him a pass.
So, would you guys both be willing to look into those rules specifically, since both of you
Yeah.
guys agree
Yes.
that you value rules?
Yes.
How would you feel about looking into this further? Because it seems like there's a miscommunication between whether the Croatian student is merely a visitor or if he is part
But
of your
I feel
household.
like I know that he is a visitor and that he's not a part of the household, and that if he is going to be there permanently, and I mean, like you said, we're only 2 weeks into the 2 years that he's going to be here, he's going to need to have a pass if he's going to be there for so long, for 2 years. So are you willing to buy
He
him a
is
pass?
a part of our family,
okay,
and you're
but can you answer my
misunderstanding the
question?
rules.
But can you answer
You
my
are
question?
misunderstanding the rules.
Okay,
so,
I get that you're trying to say that I'm misunderstanding the
Yes.
rules, but can
And
you
I
answer my
feel like
question?
you have
Okay, let me know when I
such
can
hate
ask my question.
For Croatian people.
All right, guys.
Okay,
so
but
I feel like
I
you're
would like
being
to.
racist.
But do you understand
Why
the
don't we
history
bring
of
this
those
back
people?
for
We're
They
gonna pause
started
it,
a
and I would
war?
like to address this part. So, can you further explain on how you're feeling like Mrs. Milokovic is being racist? Elaborate and go slow, and just break it down for all of us.
It's so simple. He doesn't want the Croatian, she doesn't want the Croatian student to be in there because I believe she has some kind of problem. I don't know what's your problem. We are abiding by the rules, But the guest rule says that you have to be 18 or older to swim by your own self, and also
And you also need a pass, so he needs to buy a pass. Will you buy him a pass? Can you answer that question, yes or no? Will you?
no, he's a part of our
So
family.
you won't
he
buy
has
him
a
a pass.
he has a
how
membership.
do you
he needs
feel-
a pass.
He has
he's
his
not
own
gonna buy
membership.
one.
I think you
He's
guys-
part of the family.
Let's
No,
go
he
back
needs
again.
to
I'm
buy
gonna
his own
wind it back.
pass.
I'm gonna wind it back again. So, he had said that he's feeling like there's hatred. How does that make you feel?
What's wrong? There's
Well,
something.
it's because of the history of Croatians and the way that they killed my people. They basically stumped on them. They killed them in the concentration camps. We're part of the Siberians and part of the Jews. And do you understand what was going on during those times in those history? And it just brings me back. I mean, the way that he has his accent, the way that he talks, the way that he acts like he's better than everybody else. And I see that you're acting like you're better than everybody else just because you're friends with the people in the homeowners association. And you guys are the ones that train them, and just because you train her doesn't you didn't even do a good job of that. She doesn't even do a well job of her job. Your daughter doesn't even do her job well.
What do you mean by she doesn't do her job?
She's
well?
not doing her job well by enforcing the rules. I mean, she's messed up on so many different things.
On what specifically?
With being able to enforce the rules.
Is your daughter
His daughter.
His daughter is the lifeguard though, correct?
Yeah.
So she's not enforcing the rules of the pool. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, and then
And they're letting that slide. Like, I don't get how they get special privileges for that.
We don't.
have you tried to talk to someone other than him about these specific rules?
No other board members.
No.
You can talk.
But
to
it's
the
like they're all
homeowners
friends, and I feel like they're all gonna like advocate for them, and they're not gonna speak of what the rules are because they want them to be convenienced, and I feel like I'm being inconvenienced.
Right, and you want to feel like you're in a safe environment that is completely neutral, which is what we're providing you here. Unfortunately, we don't have. Is there like a rule book that where it's just very black and white, so that there's
Is it
no
on their
favoritism?
website or anything like that?
Well, I'm sure there's a homeless association book.
Okay.
Yes,
Would you?
and
And
she
the rules
can
clearly
read that,
say
because
what the
she
rules
really.
But it's like,
Hold on,
okay, so we
hold on.
need. So what would it take? Maybe I need to have like the book. If I had the book here for me, I can go get it and just to say what the rules clearly state.
Mm-mm.
I have it on my
She
phone.
does not understand.
If I can, I
Well,
show it to
she's-
you on my phone.
She's, I see that you guys are both trying to seek this truth that is an
Yes.
absolute truth, kind of black and white, because you don't want to feel like there's favoritism, correct? And you're feeling like you're being fair and you're following the rules. So I feel like what would be extremely helpful is to like have this book, because you guys want to follow the rules, right?
Yeah, that way you guys can be on the same page.
On
and
the
there
same
can be
page.
no miscommunication whatsoever.
Okay, so again, I think you guys brought up some hot topics here that shouldn't go unaddressed. You had pretty much just explained your past and what you went through. How does hearing about that make you feel about the situation now?
I mean, I understand her from her part, but again, it's 2015. We all moved on. I understand that it is
Move
sad.
on? You want me to move on and
It
just
is
forget history? So
extremely-
you're saying that nothing is important? No, history repeats itself, and I just don't want history to repeat itself. So you're saying that I should forget my heritage and all the horrible, cruel things that they did to us, and not
Do
to
you
have
feel-
any reparations? What about reparations?
And how would you respond to her about, do you want her to forget?
Because this is a part of her culture, that's what she's saying.
Yes, I understand. It's a part of her culture.
Mm-hmm.
However, I believe that nothing's gonna happen. It's just her hatred that is driving her like this. I believe so. That your hatred is driving you like this.
How does that make you feel
You
about
I
hearing
think you
those
have
words?
to see it in a different perspective. Because right now we're in 2015, and that's never gonna. I guarantee you that will never happen again.
How can you guarantee that? I mean, I can't take your word for it, or even the president of the United States' word for it, or the president of Croatia's word for it, for that matter. I mean, you can't guarantee me that, and that's not something that I'm going to trust. Because if you understand, like, the Roman Catholicism, and that they were just so against people just because of the way they look, and because of their skin color, and because what of their sexual orientations were, and just for people to be able to be who they are, and it's like you're not letting that happen. I just get that type of vibe from them, from the people who are from Croatia. Like, do you understand that? Can you validate my feelings?
Yes, I am validating it. That's why I told you I can put myself through your shoes. However,
I know that you. Sorry, I'll let you finish.
however, you have to see this in a different perspective. Because if you keep on pushing on that and reminiscing through that negativity, you are not going to move on.
How do you
Well, I just feel
I
like
understand where you're coming from.
and how do you respond to that? Like diving in deeper about maybe moving past that.
Well, I mean, I can't move on. It's just a part of history. I mean, we
Yeah.
have tons of history books. What am I supposed to do? Throw all the history books to the fire and act like it never happened? I mean, you have to learn you have to learn from the mistakes that happen. And so I just really need to be aware. And I feel like you're just kind of like overriding my feelings, and you're not validating them whatsoever. You're asking me
I'm not
to,
overriding
but you're just
anything.
asking me to just you're basically saying get over it, the fact that it happened.
I did
and-
not say get over
So,
it.
Mrs. Milinkovic, so what would it look like for you? Because it sounds like there is a trust issue, and that you're feeling unsafe. what would it look like? Just small increments, because it sounds like, this boy is part of his family, is part of his household. He's going to be staying for 2 years. How is it
Then
going
he needs his own membership.
But besides that,
He's part of our
but besides that, how would it look like for you to feel more comfortable with him? He's going to be there. What kind of steps can both of you guys take in order to make both of you guys feel comfortable?
Well, like you're saying, since he's gonna be there, they just need to abide by the rules, and what they need to do to abide by the rules, as it states, is for him just to buy a membership.
I will do that if she stops her hatred. She has such.
I don't have hatred. I think you're miscategorizing
Yeah,
me.
you are
I
discriminating
don't have
against
I
other
don't have
races.
hatred towards the people. I'm
Yes.
I'm totally anti-hatred, but I'm also anti-war. I'm also anti-murdering people.
How
I'm
is
also
that gonna start a war?
people who were parts
How
of the
is that
Nazi
gonna
people
start
who
a
were
war?
killing that.
I'm
I
just
can't stand
asking
for
you
something
right
like
now.
that.
How is that
Because
gonna
of what
start a
happened.
war?
I do have a hatred. I don't have a hatred towards Croatian people, but I do have. Excuse me. Excuse me. Did you hear that?
I'm
I
sorry.
said
He
she
called me a
is
racist. He called me a racist, and then he said the
I
B word.
apologize. I did not hear that. That was under his breath.
I'm sorry.
Okay. So
I said she's racist.
okay. So
I'm not
let's stop.
racist.
Okay. So she's saying she's not racist. Okay. What would it look like for you? Why are you feeling? I understand that she's saying these words. She's trying to explain to you. So is there something specific of why you're feeling?
Is there something that she said specifically that made you feel that way, or?
Yes, the fact that the war and all of that explanation, I think that's preposterous.
Why do you feel like that?
I feel like that because it's not gonna happen. I feel like she is the root of the problem. So,
I'm the root of the problem with
Yes.
with the Croatian people. How am I the root of the problem?
because
The
you're
root of which problem?
because you are being rude towards them. You're assuming a lot of things.
But you're not abiding by the rules.
I am abiding by the rules.
You're not. You need to buy him a membership then.
So you just want the Croatian student to be supervised, right?
I want him to be supervised
Supervised.
at all times.
He's
or to have a
18 years
membership.
old, and
So to
he
be
has a right to go to the
Supervised
pool.
or supervised or a pass, or supervised and a pass.
Preferably just to have a pass. I mean, either or. He either needs to be supervised, or he either needs to
He's
buy a pass.
not a guest,
May I ask?
and he's part of our household.
May I ask exactly? So how the feelings on the pass? Can you elaborate more on how that will give you that sense of safety and comfort for us? I'm just not understanding.
Because then he'll be he'll be he'll be accounted for, like with the homeowners association, with who's being able to stay there. I mean, when he has his guests, I mean, like say if he's accompanied by him, then he's fully responsible for him. Or either if he has a pass and he has to report the information of who he is there, so that we know exactly who's staying there. But I mean, it can be either or. But I mean, something needs to happen and something needs to be in place, because then who's responsible for this person? We just have a random stranger who's in our neighborhood who we don't know who he is. We don't have any documentation for him. So he either needs to be supervised at 24/7 whenever he's at the pool or any other part of the accommodation, like when he's out on the different amenities that we have, or he needs to go out and he just needs to buy a pass just like everybody else did. Because because he's part, like his sister's part, since she works for the premises, she's giving them special privileges, and it's not fair.
Okay. And your response to this?
I believe that you're treating him like a felon, or he did something wrong where he's not doing anything. And I believe that your thing is so irrelevant, because even though I buy him a pass and get him all these types of things and follow by the rules, she's still gonna treat him the way she treats him now.
Well, look how you're treating me.
This went
Okay,
from,
well I won't. Okay, if you buy him a pass,
You
and I
know
won't
what?
say anything.
you know what,
Okay.
your hatred will continue.
So
Wait,
then why
wait.
are you here?
So why are you saying that the hatred will continue? Why do you think it's still going to continue?
She's telling you that buying a pass and she's good. So, what's your response?
I believe she'll have the same feelings, because
But
she has a certain opinion about people, and that will go. I feel like that will influence her, like when that will influence her through in like interacting with him and all that stuff.
So
that will never change.
have you interacted? I think we asked you this earlier. Have you interacted with him one-on-one before?
No, nothing specifically.
Do you plan on interacting with him?
Then why did you say you're describing him?
Well,
as,
because he thinks that he's just above the law and that he can do whatever he wants to do. That's what they did to the Jews. They just
So-
threw them in concentration
See?
camps
Can
and
you
thought that
back
they
up
were
again?
above the
that?
law.
Mrs. Miller,
I am-
so he thinks. You said he thinks. So can you elaborate more on how?
that means
on
you
how
had
he
an
thinks?
encounter with him.
Well, I have not encountered with him, so I'll admit, like, I am making a generalization, but it's just
Does
that I want
he-
to be.
Oh,
This
okay.
generalization, it's just there's a lot of generalization, and I feel like you
How about
haven't
him?
meet the person, and you're already judging him.
Okay, stop right
based
there. Hold on. And how do you feel about that part about meeting the person? You haven't met the person. What he just said. How does that make you feel?
I can
What are your
see
thoughts
his
on that?
perspective and where he's coming from. That I really haven't tried to interact with him or get to know him, and that I'm
Okay.
kind of basing it on my.
Okay. So I know that you feel extremely uncomfortable. Is what it sounds like, in your safety. I would never want you guys to force interaction, but how do you feel about keeping that in mind? The fact that you haven't met him yet, and maybe that you could first
better
interact with him.
understand.
I mean, I don't really plan to have. I mean, I already have enough friends, you know.
Yeah.
So I mean, I don't see like a reason why I'd have to interact with him. And like I said, we're not gonna come around and like hold hands and act like it's gonna be peaceful and stuff. I mean, I'll be cordial towards him, but as far as being buddy and like having like a friendship with him or anything like that, like that's not gonna happen. Like, yeah, we can be neighbors, we can be cordial, have the usual hi and bye, but as far as like getting together and like hanging out or something, like that's just not gonna happen. And it's like, you know, I understand that we do share the community pool, and I would like for us to be cordial. You know, if he is gonna buy him a pass and if he is gonna be out there, then we can definitely be cordial out there because they have our children and, you know, all of the neighbors who are there. So, you know, we can be cordial. I'm
But
not racist.
can you be cordial without a pass? Because he's a member of our family, and that's what you're supposed to do.
But what about the rules?
Once they're a member of of your family, they automatically have a right to go to the pool.
I feel like we could it'd be very helpful if we had the book of rules here just to figure that out, because we are not part of the homeowners association, so we don't know what the rules are like. It just feels like there's a lot of misunderstanding when it comes to the rules regarding families and guests and supervision.
Definitely.
And when it comes to supervision, he's 18 years old. The
But he
rules
doesn't have a
said
pass.
the rules said specifically that it's 12th or 7th grade that is need to be supervised. So that one, it's cleared. And for my daughter, he teaches swimming and he lifeguards at the pool. So she has separate pass than us according to the association. So I just want you to understand that I will never, ever take advantage of any rules that we created. Do you get what I'm saying?
I get what you're saying, but then it's kind of hard because it's like you created those rules, and so it kind of makes me think. But I mean, I'll trust that you have like the best interest in order to be able to do
That's
that. But
all I'm
what I'm
doing.
saying is like I won't be satisfied until you either agree that he's accompanied or either that he has a pass. So that's just because that's just the rules are. You know, if it wasn't the rules, and I feel like, you know, like if the rule said that he could be there without a pass or that he didn't have to be a certain age, and I feel like
But
we wouldn't
he
be here.
is
But he's
our
breaking the
family
rules.
member.
But he needs a pass to be accounted for.
I was under the impression that the passes were per household and not per person.
Yes.
But again,
You
we
did
don't have those rules in front of us, so
Mhm.
I feel like that is really. So it sounds like you guys are on a good track to to kind of come to a little bit more of a understanding. But it sounds like that particular part is what's kind of holding you guys back.
Yes.
Is there any way that we could get that rule book? Because I feel like you think so strongly about rules.
It would shed light
I think it
on
would help.
who would be considered a guest, a family member, what type of supervision is required.
If the
There's
pass
no
is for per
specific-
person or if the pass is per household, because it's sounding
These are all,
like he's saying
yeah.
it's part of the household. So
So
does
these
that
are
make
like
sense?
technical things
Yeah.
that we have to
And there's
address.
no specifics of anything that says, or like you can have a renter do it, like you can have a renter go to the pool or anything like that. There's no specific into it. I believe that he is my family relative, and I believe that he has a right. That's what I'm trying to communicate with you.
So you said you could pull the rules on your phone? Okay, let's pull it on your phone, and why don't you guys step outside and grab the rule book, and then come back in and let us know what that rule is.
Okay,
Alright,
sure,
okay.
sure.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna have to rock paper scissors that rule.
Are you guys recording?
Yeah.
Here's the rules. We got the rules.
Okay.
Okay.
Yes. It says that guests must be accompanied by an association member who is at least 12 years old or 7th grade.
So
Okay.
this is nothing about them being 18 or anything like that.
Yes.
Okay, and then is there a rule, Haley, for the pass? Can you please read that to us?
Well, as far as the pass goes, I mean, I don't have an exact rule, and I mean, I can read what he just read because it says guests must be accompanied by an association member who is at least 12 years old or in the 7th grade. So, what I believe that we're misunderstanding with the rule is that it's not necessarily how old the guest is, if the guest is like a toddler or if the guest is like over the age of 18, but the person who is accompanying the guest needs to be over the age of 12 or in the 7th grade. So the person, so say if you had like a son who, I know that your children are out of the household now and everything, but say if your daughter was 12 years old and she had your son, she was 12 years old and the Croatian student was there and they wanted to go to the pool, your daughter, since she is a resident of the home and has the pass, she could accompany the Croatian student at the pool. But in the case of, say, your daughter was 11 years old, then she wouldn't be a reliable guest to bring into the pool.
I think that part.
I said it's.
Okay.
So I think what Mrs. Milinkovic was trying to say
If
that
you
if
want, you
your
can read
daughter
it here,
was
it starts.
11, she wouldn't be able to be like a guardian for that Croatian student because she's not of age. Is that what you're saying? Do you
But
understand that?
Yes, I understand it.
Do they define guest in the rule book? Because I feel that's another technical term that.
I do feel like that is one of the main things that we're discussing is guest and residents and what we're
But he
qualified
is
as.
not guest.
He is not guest. So
He's
as someone
part
from
of
that
our family,
household, you're
yes.
saying that he is not a guest. He is part of your residence.
Yes. Because my daughter moved out and everything.
And Mrs. Milinkovic, what would you say to that, to him clearly stating that the probation student is a member of this
he's
family?
not permanent. I mean, he's not like, I know that he's staying there temporarily, but what if we like all had guests? I mean, what if every single person that I bring over, I just say that they're like a part of the family and that they're not guests when they actually in fact are guests? So I have to ask you, what would you define as a guest?
Define?
Yeah, define a guest.
I believe that he is my family member. I never considered myself, I've never considered any of my family members a guest. So, for me, it's just, that's how I view it. And also, he's gonna live with us for 2 years. So, I feel like that's not a guest for me. So, it really depends on both of our perspective, but I believe that he is a part of my family.
So
You might see him as a guest, but he is a part of my family. He is something that is close to us as family. So I don't know how can we work through that, because my daughter left us, she moved out and everything. She's 25 years old. She got her own life. So I feel like having him in our household, it's just, he's been really helpful to us. So I never considered him guests or anything.
Thank you for sharing with us.
Yes.
Mr. Milinkovic, what do you have to say to what Mr. Hanson just shared with you?
Well, I get that he feels like he's definitely a part of the family and a member of the family, and so I can see that since he is a part of the family and he's going to be living there for 2 years. And I mean, if he considers him part of the family, then by all means, I mean, he can consider him part of the family. I mean, that's not really up to me. So I definitely thank you for sharing that with me and bringing to that perspective. But I mean, if you feel like he's a part of the family, then so be it. But I just feel like we do need to honor the rules, and that you should respect the rules, and the fact that maybe you can consider buying him a pass just so it can make me feel comfortable that he's accounted for, and that I'm not being taken advantage of, because that would help if you would just not be such a cheapskate and to be able to buy
Go
the
back to the cheapskate part for us, please. So how is he being the cheapskate?
because he doesn't want to buy a pass. I mean, just put the money down and buy the pass. He would pay the homeowners association, so he's gonna have to pay a little bit more.
If you would like,
If he doesn't want to,
I can take you to the homeowners association, and they can explain to you more about it. Unlike the guests or the visitation or whatever, we can explain the rules to you. Because I feel like you're just jumping into conclusions. I want to give you the best explanation as possible. And I can put some time, I can save some time for you in my on my calendar, and then we'll definitely discuss it. I don't know how you feel about that, but it is up to you. But please do not call me a cheapskate, because I will never ever take advantage of anyone. I believe that everyone is equal and everything, and I believe that I don't get any special accommodations or anything from the association. So
How do you feel about that? About what he just proposed?
I mean, if that's it's just. I mean, I've been trying to tell him, and so I feel like we just have two different viewpoints. And so since we do have two different viewpoints, then I mean, I still am gonna feel I feel like if he were to buy the pass and to abide by the rules, then I can put all of my views about Croatians aside. But I mean, if you're gonna feel by all means, if you consider him a part of your family, then I'm just gonna let you do that, and I'm not gonna say anything. But I still will have my views because of the way that Croatians treated my ancestors in World War II. With some of my family members, friends, and families, they died and they passed away because of what happened with the Roman Catholicism and things of that nature. And so I feel like it's hard for me to put that aside, and I'm just seeing this history repeat itself with people being able to come in from anywhere and be able to just like override other people and just walk all over them. So I'm always gonna have that in the back of my head. But I mean, I won't say anything anymore. I mean, you can just have your guests to be there. But I mean, since you're not able to accommodate me or hear what I have to say, then it's just gonna be that way.
It's not. For future reference, I just want you to change your perspective about Croatians, because not all Croatians are like that. And that, you know, in order to live in this society where it's getting more diverse, I believe that you have to be able to accommodate people and like get along with them, no matter how harsh or how crazy, or I don't know who they are. So yeah, I just want you to emphasize on that, because coming from your perspective, it's a little bit like you're kind of being picky and oppressive towards Croatian people.
Well, do you understand what happened in World War
Yes.
II with Korea?
Yes.
What happened? What can you explain to me?
Yes, like what you said, you guys had revolution and all that stuff, and that you got into a war, and they treated your ancestors, they slaved them, they basically killed them, slaughtered them or something.
Yeah, it's an internment camp. It's horrible.
Yes, I totally understand that, but that will never exist again in this world. So I understand that, but you know, I told you I am not being a cheapskate, and the pool pass, it does not, like, it doesn't do anything with your viewpoints, because you'll how do you say that? I believe that you will still view the Croatian guy the same. Do you get what I'm saying? Because you
So
will
does
still
that
view
say-
him as like that. The past does not heal
But I'm just
anything.
letting you know my feelings. Like I don't want to be fake about it and sit here and say,
Yes.
oh no, he's fine, whatever. Because that's just the way that I feel, and you can't change the way that I
I
feel.
think by Mrs. Milankovic saying that, she just wants to help you like in a better understanding where she's coming from. That's it.
Yes, and I totally understand it. Like, you know.
So I can't change the way that I mean, if I feel how I feel, I'm gonna let you know. I'm not gonna bite my tongue for anyone. I mean, if I felt differently, then I would let you know, but that's just not how I'm feeling. And so I feel like that's why it's good at mediation, just to get out all of these concerns and to let you know, like, the reasoning and why behind what's going on. That's just, like, the way it is.
It's good too, because mediation kind of allows you to just let everything sink in and kind of allow each other to talk and really just hear each other. You know, that's why we're here in mediation. There may not be an immediate solution to what you guys are discussing. We definitely want mediation to be beneficial for both of you. You know, and maybe really diving into what she's saying and what you're saying. Maybe you can find in the future something, but we don't want to give up on mediation today. We want to then ask you now, since you guys, seems like you guys kind of got it all out of the way. Me and my co-mediator Nee are going to kind of sum up what we have on the table, and then let's look forward and see what we can do to move mediation forward. Okay.
Okay.
So, excuse me. Okay, so for you, let me just make sure I have this all under the umbrella. I got everything for you. So, one is you're saying that your exchange student is part of your family.
Yes.
And he's seen under your household, and that your daughter is
Employee.
she's an employee, and so she's separate from your household and what's going on with the pool. So, would you say that any issue that's going on with your daughter would be completely separate from you?
Yes, that is totally separate
Okay.
from me. She moved to another town. She's 25 years old. She is responsible for her own self, correct?
Okay. And then, it sounds like you guys both really just value, rules and being respected, feeling safe, and feeling understood. correct?
Yes.
Okay. Is there anything else that I missed for you specifically? Okay, so
And for Mrs. Milankovich, we understood that after you heard, after Mr. Hansen shared about how he feels that the Croatian student is like family because he is related to your sister-in-law, correct?
Yes.
So after that discussion, you feel like that the membership won't be necessary anymore, but you'll still just like keep everything like in line, like everything will be cordial between you two because after that you guys gain a better understanding with one another.
would you still like to look at the rule book specifically to try and look at membership in particular? Because I know we looked at like how old you needed to be, but we couldn't find anything for specific membership.
Mm-hmm.
We also needed to figure out what they meant by guest because really it's
Right.
just technical terms. I suggest maybe we can hold another mediation and you guys might be able to bring in a board member or something that could help clear things up for us.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Someone who's completely neutral, another
Yeah.
third party.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And
Was there anything else that I missed?
No, and then also like if they could just tell the daughter, like his daughter as well, but like I mean just because she works here doesn't mean that she gets special privileges. So I would like to shed a little bit of light on that and get a little bit more clarification.
I believe that that's none of my responsibility.
so
I
will
am
you ask a board member then?
Yeah, I'll ask the
Okay.
board.
not- Yeah,
Ask the
that,
board member.
like my daughter is out of my responsibility. He's
Yeah.
out of the house.
Okay.
He's doing his own thing.
Okay.
So yeah.
Cool.
I just want to clarify that.
Okay. So
Okay, so let's move forward to just a little bit, and then we can see where we're at in mediation. So, from now, what are some steps that you would like to see be taken?
Well, I would like to speak with the board members so that we can get some of the rules into place.
Okay.
And then I'm just glad that he was able to share with me how he does feel like he's part of the family and that this is like his sister-in-law's son, and that he is visiting here for 2 years from like community college and that he'll be there that long. And so it's kind of one of those things that you just have to like deal with, and it's good that I have more understanding. So when I do see him at the pool, like I have a little bit more background of where he is and where he's coming from and things like that. So I mean, but what I would like to see in place is just for him to be able to for me and him to both be able to understand like what a guest constitutes as,
Okay.
and also be able to understand what and what is considered a guest and like whether or not he does or does not need to pass and what his privileges are since he is going to be here 2 years. And I think this is like a new situation. Maybe in our home association we've never had this case of scenario, so it may be like there are no rules in the place and maybe there do need to be new rules formed, not necessarily rules but like need to bring into new guidelines and like what is the norm and what's okay and what's not okay, and we may not be able to have all that right now. And I mean I'm fine with not knowing that those rules aren't in place. Maybe they've never had this scenario, so they've never had to put up any rules, and so maybe now they'll need to put up to form some new rules, and we're just gonna make the future better. So if we ever were to come into contact with this situation again.
That's great. Thank you so much for sharing them. That was all very positive and a good look forward to mediation. And then for you as well, what are some things that you're going to work on and towards in mediation and
Well,
you're looking forward to?
Yes, I am thankful that she shared her history to me, or else I will never I would never understand her where she's coming from and all that stuff. And I just want her to keep an open mind. I'll try my best to educate my relative, my Croatian relative, and to better understand her as well, so that when they come across to the pool or when they come across to in the complex, that there would be no arguments or any sorts of thing like that. And I am looking forward on seeing all the rules and maybe revising some of them. So that's all it, and I thank you for all your time.
Yeah, absolutely. I don't know if we have anything to draft.
I guess that we can draft that. you guys both agree to a second mediation where a neutral board member can come along with the book of rules. So then that way we can just clarify key terms like gas, membership, and anything like that.
Yeah.
And I think Mrs. Milinkovic will contact the board member about if the employees there have any like benefits there, and just to clarify things up again. So I feel like those are the only things we need to draft in an agreement.
Okay.
So my co-meter is gonna draft that up right now, and then we'll just have you guys sign just so that we can acknowledge it.
Board member. Okay, and then you guys will sign here. Second mediation. Okay. It's a beautiful signature.
Thank you.
Wonderful. Thank you guys so much. We really do appreciate it. You guys did such a great job coming here today.
Even though we didn't reach a resolution, but I feel like we did get a better understanding between the two of you, and I feel like we helped you guys effectively communicate.
Yeah. And then, we welcome you to come anytime you want. And we're here for you, and you can utilize us if anything comes up again. But we really do appreciate your time, and thank you guys both for being such great sports.
Yeah. Whenever you two are ready, you guys can contact us for a second mediation.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank
Thank
you.
so much.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Thank you.